I'm doing.
Okay.
And like you open this up with the Freeman Society, I have so much respect for that society that got together. And Rob Menard's a great guy, and the information that he's spreading around Canada is definitely stuff that we all need to be thinking about. And if you were to decide that you want to file a claim of right and join the Freeman Society, that is your free will. Mm-hmm. I am not what is called adversarial. I have no aversion to you being able to fly however you want to.
Mm-hmm. Provided that you're not injuring others or creating theft. Just being a responsible person. Do we really need gazillions of laws?
There you go. Exactly. They're just rules and regulations,
Yeah.
And if there's respect in our society, then perhaps we can do away with a lot of the charges, which end up putting us in positions where, if you have a single mom who's got a child and she's driving to the daycare to get him there, and she needs to get to her second job because she's working too, and it is that police officer, that peace officer's strict, it's totally his prerogative on whether he issues that ticket or not, because he's issuing an offense notice as an agent for the agency. And he is not obliged by any means to do that because he's acting on his own actions,
Okay. Well, now maybe you're talking something similar. You recently put out a YouTube clip of you kind of taking a police officer to school as he was attempting to, I guess, give you was it a speeding ticket?
Yeah. Well, he's trying to give me an invitation to pay a fine for speeding. When he came up to the window and showed me the gun, which I appreciated very much, I proceeded to tell him that I never speed, and I didn't understand. When you don't understand something, see, it's all about words, Ray. When you don't stand under his authority, which is what I did not stand under his authority, and then when he started asking for more things, I said, okay, I'm going to have to do this under protest and duress because I don't want to go into a contract with you right now because I would prefer to not have to think that my person owes $295 and then me as the agent for my person would then have to pay that.
Right.
I know he doesn't understand that. So I'm trying to explain it to him. Unfortunately, any police officer who pulls me over is going to have to sit there for 2-3 hours until I'm going to give him my understanding.
Nice.
And I'm going to need to understand that he understands where I'm coming from.
Sure.
Because I feel like I'm at peace. I feel like I'm not hurting anyone. Whether the automobile I was traveling in that day was going that speed or not, that's not up for debate because that's not where his jurisdiction would fall on that because I'm explaining things to him. I'm telling him that I've learned some things. In fact, I was pulled over before also in London, Ontario, and I hired that peace officer. I reminded him of his first oath, which is to uphold the peace, and I informed him that my peace is being violated because there's something going on with the birth certificates here and the corporations and everything, and I don't feel like the general public is being informed about this. And, I did hire him. Whether he's going to come and help me, that's the issue that I have, is that I talk to police officers all the time. In fact, I was threatened by a police officer once just for talking to him about 9/11. And when it gets down to it, who are we going to conscript to find out the truth? Well, like you say, we got to find it on our own, and as we go, I'm sure more like-minded people will show up. In fact, it's the people who are vehemently against 9/11 truth that we don't really need, helping us right now. We need to stick together with our commonalities, and it's just information. The truth is the truth.
Well, there's not too many people. In the over 4 years that I've been doing this show, I've had one or two people that really took exception to me doing this show and talking about 9/11, and it was very uncomfortable for them. And
really?
But that hasn't happened in maybe 3 years. Because people are able to do the research online and realize that, whoa, okay, there's something there.
Just like Sherry Tenpenny said there last week about the vaccines, almost all parents who just simply take that leap of faith and just go sit down at the computer and just look up a couple things. They might not find those articles that tell them what they need to know yet, but they might start to think, because it doesn't matter what you read, it's until you start to believe it that you actually start to act on those beliefs.
Okay. I want to take a moment here to let our listeners know that we're in conversation with Max Radico of Ottawa. He's with Grasshopper Media and a 9/11 Truth activist with Ottawa 9/11 Truth. The show that you were listening to was Unbought and Unbossed. Of course, it's on CHLY. We're 101.7 FM on the radio dial in the central Vancouver Island. If you go to our website, www.chly.ca, you can listen live streaming, which I'm hoping that there's some people in Ontario doing that right now. Thank you. And let's see, we also do podcasts, so if you want to listen to your favorite show at your leisure, that's available as well. And I'll tell you that my name is Raymond Geisler. Max, back to you. I'm wondering if... Well, I'm not too sure we finished where we were with the Freeman
it could
ideas.
go on for hours.
Okay. Well, if you want to continue there, that's fine as well. However, you were going to come on, I'm not too sure how long ago, and talk about the CIBC firebombing, and it turned out that Jane Scarf took over that night's interview. So you and I have never discussed this, but this is a story that you had followed quite closely and done some videos as well. Are you willing to get into that after you finish up with the Freeman stuff?
In fact, I feel a duty that I need to speak about this.
Okay, well, lay it in context for us.
Yeah, absolutely. I've tried to contact as many people in Toronto, the people who are working on the G20 prosecutions and all the things that happened at the G20 in Toronto, because I believe this incident in Ottawa with this RBC firebombing, I don't know if you guys out in BC saw it in your national newspaper, but a bombing of a bank, or what it is officially is an arson. That's what the chief of police of Ottawa said.
That's right.
It is just arson. It was just arson. That's why they didn't get terrorism charges, right? Okay. Or else they would have lost all their rights. They still maintain some of their rights, and it's blocks away from the Parliament buildings. With which, a couple weeks later, after the arson itself, I can't remember the guy in Parliament who said it, but he stood up and said, just down this street it happened here. And then another guy stands up, so it justified the spending.
Yes.
Because during that week, I remember reading the newspaper, and it was all about the justification and the spending. Everybody was upset about it, but, it was going to be justified, they were saying to everybody.
Yeah.
Then the Public Works Protection Act was enforced, all that sort of stuff there. But I think there's a key thing here with the RBC. I can't necessarily prove it, but after watching the 11 or 12 odd videos that I've made about this, that there's a question about it. Hey, I know the 9/11 conspiracy is much more obvious than this one is, but this one here, we can see that there was other people that were involved that were not brought in as the people.
Correct. Yeah, like the person taking the video footage.
That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you very much, Raymond. That is my main point right there. It's just that simple. Who was doing the videotaping if it wasn't the guy that they sent home and charged with some other unrelated thing? So, where we are now is Roger Clement. He pleaded guilty to doing this, and he also him and the other guy who was let off, Claude Herridge, they were both involved in a vandalism of an RBC2, so they tacked on another 6 months. So he's in for 4 years now. But my point in saying that he pled guilty is we must assume that he made a deal in a way that he would make a plea instead of going to trial. And because he didn't go to trial, none of these questions will be asked.
Okay, gotcha.
So he's going to jail. Claude Herridge is completely let off. He's being charged for something else with ammunitions, containing ammunitions in his house improperly. And Matthew Morgan Brown, he served 6 months, I believe, during this whole process, and now he's out. Now, Matthew Morgan Brown he's gone on a YouTube video and a couple other things saying that Roger needs as much support and there's a couple of organizations here in Ottawa that we're planning on supporting Roger. I know Jane would get into this stuff a lot more. She's a great person. She cares for Roger very much, and she knew him personally before all this, and he's not the type of guy that would mastermind something like this. On the stand, he said, I did do this. He also didn't express any remorse. The judge was very hard on him and gave him the highest sentence for what he did.